Okay, time for step two now that the photos are imported and backed up from the memory card. Step two is going to be to cull the photos. So if you don't know that term, culling means going through the photos, picking which ones you want to edit. So you're going to want to open your hard drive folder and find your client folder. Hopefully it's nice and organized and quick to find. And then you're gonna go to the import folder. So remember, we put all the photos, we dragged them into number one, the import folder. It's all the raw images. You're gonna now click and drag this folder into Photomechanic. Now, Photomechanic's an editing software you can use to go through photos really quickly. It's not editing, I'm sorry. It's a sorting and organizing software where you can go through the photos really quickly because it loads the raw images, really big files, really fast. You can do this in Lightroom and go through Lightroom and flag the photos instead, but I highly recommend Photomechanic. So up here, you should see your folder. If you dragged it in, it'll appear right here in Photomechanic. And you can also play with this little slider button. Click and slide it left or right if you want to view the images bigger or smaller. What you're going to do is just start on the first image. You're going to click there. So once you click on it, it should be highlighted. And what I like to do is the view I prefer is to actually double click on the image, and that opens it nice and big. Sometimes like weird stuff happens, like you'll see this screen. Usually it's one of these buttons you just need to click back to see one image at a time. So don't freak out once you're first learning to use this. It's super simple. I'm showing you exactly how I use it. So once I have the photo open, I use the arrow keys on my keyboard to go left and right to see the photos. And what I do is I use the pink color, which is correlated to number one on your keyboard, to select the images I want. So let's say I like this one. I'm gonna push one. It labels it pink, and then I just keep going. This one. I'm an overshooter, so there's usually duplicates of the same photo. If I'm not sure like which one between this one and this one is more sharp, I might zoom in by pressing the Z key, which zooms in, and then you just have to move the photo around a little bit. But then I can see which one is more sharp, like for her face. Usually one's a little more sharp, and actually the first one was a little more sharp. I don't know if you can see it on the phone, but this one's a little more sharp. So I'm just gonna tag it pink, and then I'm gonna go to the next one I tagged pink, and I'm gonna untag it. I'm gonna select 0 to just remove that, and then I'm gonna keep going. So then I'm gonna zoom out by hitting the Z key so I can see the full photo again, and just keep going until I have all of mine selected. And I'm gonna keep going. So once you do that, you will be ready for the next step, which is to come down here to the bottom right corner, hover over the pink color, and then you're gonna use the Alt key on your Mac. You're gonna hold down Alt while you select the pink. So I see if I can do this with holding my phone. Alt, my arrow's on the pink, click, boom. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna filter all the photos we just labeled pink, so that now we'll only see those pink flagged photos. There we go. And then once you have those, you are going to Command A. You know, this actual process would probably take me anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour for a full brand shoot. Because I do take thousands of photos often. So this might be like 30 minutes to an hour. I narrow it down to 500 images. And then again, you can click out of here to unselect outside of the image. But if you want to reselect the images, Command A, and you'll see that highlighted all the images. So now they're selected. I double click on the Mac to open the menu, and I'm going to go down to copy selected photos. So basically what we're doing right now, this step, the bigger overview picture, we're moving the photos we want. We're copying from that import folder on the hard drive, the client master folder, into a folder labeled raw. We're gonna copy the photos we actually want to edit and work on and import in Lightroom into there. So it should look like this. I'm just gonna give you a second if you wanna take a screenshot of this. I'll try to hold the camera nice and still. You can take a screenshot of this or pause the video, and then you're just gonna wanna make sure your settings on this part look exactly like this, that this is checked, process both RAW and JPEG files are checked, those two are checked, and then just make sure this is checked. That's really important, the always pick destination, because what you wanna do is once we click copy, you want it to prompt you just like this. You want a window to open up because you want it to prompt you and say, okay, where do you want us to put these photos? Copy the photos to. And like I said, we're gonna find the client master folder, which is on the hard drive. Go to my clients, 2019, and then down to Ronnie. I know we're actually doing Ronnie's folder right now, right? So then we would click Ronnie, we would go to number 2, and we're gonna put them in here. So once you have the folders open, it's highlighted where you want it to go, you're going to click open. And then you just wait, and it's gonna take a little while to copy those raw files over, and that is the end of step 2.